let's take a closer look at some things in the character creation for Dark Souls 1, because I got some questions. First off, there's the classes. Not that much with the Warrior, Fearless Warrior, Weapon Expert, High Strength, Dexterity, looks good. Knight, low ranking Knight, high HP, solid armor, not easily toppled. Does that mean the Knight has good poise because his armor is so heavy? Aimless Wanderer, wields Scimitar, high dexterity. Thief, guilt-ridden thief, high critical hits, has Master Key. So why is this thief guilt-ridden? Did he steal something too precious or something? Savage Bandit, high strength, wields heavy battle axe. Hunter, bow wielding. Okay at close range, but weak with magic. So does each and every hunter have some kind of experience with magic? Do they all practice it and end up low ranking? Sorcerer of Venheim Dragon School casts soul sorceries, which indicates that there are other sorceries you can learn that don't include soul, I think. Swamp Pyromancer casts fire spells and wields a hand axe. Cleric on Pilgrimage wields a mace and casts healing miracles, because there are other miracles you can learn apparently. But playing this for the first time, you'd probably ask yourself, what pilgrimage is this exactly? It's a faulty one, because the church is corrupt. Deprived, an unclothed enigma, only armed with a club and an old plank shield. Definitely gotta ask where this person came from. Well, I suppose this is a question to ask of just your undead character in general, doesn't matter what class you are. But yeah, where did you come from? And why are you in the undead asylum? Because you're hollow? Well, how did we end up hollow? Now let's look at the gifts. Goddess's Blessing. Divine Holy Water fully restores HP and status. What does that mean exactly? Does that mean that if you're cursed and you drink this, you're uncursed? Or does only the tablet thing do that? I don't know what status means. At least with Final Fantasy III, I know that if I drink certain water, my party members will be returned to normal size, but that's different. Black Fire Bomb can be helpful, but probably not any of ours first choice. Twin Humanities, tiny sprite called Humanities, sometimes found on carcasses. How is it that two humanities ended up together? Did two people die in each other's arms or something? Well, maybe that can be your headcanon. Two people ended up dying, and their humanities bonded together, and then was found on one of their corpses after the other corpse dissolved away. I don't know. Binoculars. Another item that could be classified as useless. I mean, I always pick one up whenever I go to the graveyard, but when do you need to use it? Pendant, trinket, no effect, but fond memories comfort travelers. And as we all know the story, Miyazaki jokingly said he would use this as his starting gift, even though, again, doesn't do anything. What fond memories are we talking about here? Master Key, probably the most useful starting gift, opens any basic lock initial equipped for Thief. So if you haven't picked the Thief class, this lets you know, hey, maybe you should. But let's be honest here, we all chose the Thief. Tiny Beings Ring, special tribal ring. Grants small increase to HP. Not to be confused with restoring a small amount of HP from fallen enemies. That's a different ring. And I don't remember if it's even in this game. Old Witch's Ring, gift from a witch. Ancient ring with no obvious effect. But of course, we all know by now, it's used to speak to Quelake's sister. But who is this witch you speak of? She gave it to us? Before we went to the asylum? What's her name? There's the faces, some of which have interesting comments as well. Very average commoner face. Alright then, so the face of a poor person. Delta Farmer. I wonder if that was named after Delta Airlines. Commonly seen face in the Five-Finger Delta. So where is that? Like, south of Lothric? Also, why is it called Five-Finger Delta? I might be reading too much into it, but Could it share a connection with the two fingers, as well as the Rosario fingers? Is that their origin? Is that where they all came from? Probably not. Astora noble, handsome face of the refined, common in Astora. Well, he looks a bit odd to me, but I guess that's just what they find handsome over there. Dragon scholar, intelligent, sharp lines, but scholarly looks invite insult. So dragon scholars get bullied, apparently. That's not very nice. Why are they doing that? And who is insulting them? The commoners? Dales of Armors? The nobles, perhaps? Common face in Thurland for their stalwart clerics, meaning each cleric from Thurland is resolute and loyal. Which is even more sad because the whole corrupt church thing. And here's probably the most interesting one. Jovial features of Katerina, known for festivity and drink. So, one would think this is probably what Siegmeyer, Sieglind, and later on Siegvard probably look like. But if any of you have seen Boundary Break, it isn't. You'd think they were commoners, or maybe classic Xena? I don't know. Anyway, here's Dubious Karim. Ominous features associated with the Earl of Karim. So this is probably what the Earl looks like. Very pale and... well, that's it, really. That's the only thing that stands out. But is this what everybody else looks like? Why do they put more of an emphasis on the Earl? Classic Xena. Thoughtful, mature face common in historical Xena. Which makes me think that this isn't necessarily what people from Xena look like anymore, but rather it's what they used to look like. Maybe that was the idea, maybe it wasn't, I don't know, let's move on. We can probably still assume this is what Domal looks like. Great swamp heretics face prejudice for their atypical looks, so it's even worse than dragon scholars. This guy does look a little weird, but, you wouldn't catch me bullying him. Actually, when I first played this game, I thought this default face looked really weird and kind of ugly. But the longer I look at him, it's fine. What I'm wondering is, though, are these atypical looks natural? Did they develop naturally while they were forming in the womb? Or is it some kind of curse placed on the people who live in the Great Swamp? Are we ever going to see the Great Swamp in person? Please? Far East Traveler. Is the Far East land they're talking about the land of reeds? Probably not, but it's an interesting theory. A distant eastern land of almond eyes and thin lips. So it's very far away from Lordran. The eyes are almond-shaped, not almond-colored, and they got thin lips. So, they're probably not great kissers. Hair, cleanly shaven bald head, nothing too crazy. Receding, rough warrior hair, shows age. I guess that means a receding hairline is pretty common for anybody in this universe. Clipped short with a slight wave. Swept back, long hair pulled back and bound. Natural long hair accented by sweat. Okay, Tarzan, take a shower, if you please. Parted center, neatly kept hair common for youth. So, if you're 30 or younger, this is what everybody's hair looks like? That's what I'm getting from it. Neatly kept hair, slightly long. That's the one that I always chose. Sharply curled hair, cut short. Bobbed. Neatly trimmed, as the old nobility. Wouldn't this indicate that Petrus is also of noble blood, just like Rhea? You know, the person he hates because she's also noble? Or maybe this is just the haircut that he gave himself, asked for, so that he can feel like nobility. And finally, hair colors. Black, black eyes, basic color. Dark brown, common. Light brown, common. Dark red, common. Dark blue, common in Karim. So if you're from Karim, you probably got this blue, silvery hair thing going on. Good for you guys. Gray, common in northern Katarina. So you'd think this would also be the hair color that the Siegs also had. But if you look at Sieglin's character model, she has blonde hair. And I think Siegmeyer and Siegvard are both bald. It's like they set up some world building, I don't want to say rules, but they gave certain people's attributes just to not give that to them later on in the game. Is that not odd? Well, okay, it says Northern Katarina. So maybe the Siegs are all from South, East, and West Katarina. So they don't have to have gray hair. But shouldn't they all have this face? Gold, beloved by certain members of nobility. So it's not saying that the nobility in this universe have gold hair, just that they like it. And even then, not all members of every royal family is a fan. Silver, which is definitely a favorite of mine, considered antiquated in these times. Now, why is that? Why would silver be considered old-fashioned? Oh, this is modern, Lord Rand. It's not cool to have silver hair anymore. Dark purple. Rare color of a near-extinct race. Wait just a minute. What race is this? And why is dark purple a rare color of them? What are we talking about here? You're just gonna tease an entire race just like that and then move on? And if dark purple is the rare color, what's the most common color? Please tell us. Burning hair and eyes. Very rare color. Is it more rare than dark purple? And why is it so rare in Lordran? You guys don't have enough gingers? What makes the dark red hair color so different? I wish this is how it still worked. We have some descriptions for races, but not hairstyles or hair colors. In Elden Ring, all the hairstyles are just given a number. They don't have a name or a description. Doesn't that just take a little bit of the fun out of it?